Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Graduation continued with prayer in Louisiana. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Matt Barber, associate dean of the law school and vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, this particular case in Louisiana hits home because our own Sean Akers, who was the director of academic support at the law school and now the dean of the School of Government at Liberty University, and who also has been on this program, graduated from this high school in Louisiana, the Bastrop High School in Bastrop, Louisiana. That's where this situation ultimately arose. The good news is graduation just occurred, and the complaint by the student saying that she was going to, or he was going to contact the ACLU did not stop the longtime tradition of prayer. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the facts of this case, but this hit right at home for our own Sean Akers.
It sure did. And, Matt, they say information is power. And once again, we provided accurate information to Bastrop High School so that they were able to make an informed decision, a decision rooted in what the Constitution actually says about freedom of religious expression, about prayer in a public school, student-led, student-initiated prayer in a public school. So any way you slice it, this is a victory for liberty. And, Matt, the more we get the information out there and the more people hear it, the disinformation campaign that groups like the ACLU engage in are blunted.
That's right. Well, this particular situation, another good thing to underscore here is that Sean Akers, who, as we said, is the dean of the School of Government at Helms School here at Liberty University, brought this to our attention.
Right.
And forwarded it to us. And immediately our staff at Liberty Counsel got involved, and we sent a letter to the Morehouse Parish Schools, which is the district covering Bastrop High School, offering pro bono representation and giving specific information about what the law was in this particular case. And as a result of that, one person getting information to us, we responding quickly, graduation prayer continued. What we have here is a student complained, and they said that they were going to get the ACLU involved. Well, the school board attorney recommended removing prayer from the ceremony. The school had to reprint the graduation programs at the expense of the district in order to remove prayer from the program and replace it with a moment of silence. But Mitzi Quinn, who had been on the staff of the school for almost 25 years, said that there had been students who were atheistic, agnostic, and other non-Christian religions in the past who had, quote, no problems, close quote, with the traditional prayer that had gone on in the past. So one person complained, the ACLU raised its ugly head, and the school backed down. But the good news is that after we sent a letter, we sent it to the school and the school district. Lacey Ray Mattis, a graduating senior, stood at the podium at the time when the moment of silence was going to be on the agenda, and she asked the students to join her in a moment of silence. She actually drew cheers, and she applauded, and she said, "I want to ask for the Lord's blessing upon us." She then led the audience in the Lord's Prayer, so it wasn't a moment of silence, and of course, obviously, people applauded that particular event. The ACLU had said to the school, you better make sure that no one prays in this event. Well, they couldn't control Lacey Ray Mattis and the rest of the graduating seniors.
And we see this happening over and over again. We Sean Akers and I were talking last week on Faith and Freedom about the instance with Megan and Mandy Chapman and how their school, all the students stood up at once, started reciting the Lord's Prayer. The thousands of people in attendance applauded, and how something that the ACLU intended for evil was turned around and used against them for good. And that's just how God works. But, Matt, we see this happen so many times where one individual who has animosity toward God, is rebelling against God, has a problem with our Judeo-Christian heritage in this nation, where they say, no, I'm offended by whatever this religious activity may be. Therefore, I'm going to, enter into what we call a heckler's veto here, or that's called tyranny of the minority, though, Matt. When one person is able to shut down everybody else because that person is offended, well, guess what? The Constitution does not guarantee your right not to be offended.
Well, and that's, in fact, what happens sometimes is the heckler has the veto whenever you don't resist that heckle. And in this particular case, the heckler would have had the veto because this one student wanted to stop this long-time tradition. The ACLU came to her aid and said, you better make sure that there's no prayer there. So the school board attorney overreacted and eliminated prayer from the agenda. The good news is that he at least kept the moment of silence on there, so that allowed the students to get up and participate, and that's what opened up the opportunity for them to actually have this one student on her own lead the class in the Lord's Prayer. But the fact is, if we hadn't come to their rescue and given information, offered free defense, and also set forth what the law is, we would have had the heckler's veto win out in this case. So Liberty Counsel got involved, and then we had some students like Lacey Ray Mattis, graduating senior, have the boldness to stand up like Megan and Mandy Chapman did a number of years ago in Russell Springs High School.
Well, and a couple of things here. When a school gives in to this type of ACLU intimidation, a couple of things happen. I mean, there are hard economic times all around the country. Yet in this instance, the Bastrop High School, from their own expense, taxpayer-funded expense, had to redo all of the graduation announcements, changed everything up, put that vague moment of silence language on there, which is good. That's better than not having anything on there at all. But they needn't do that. They didn't have to do that. And it's unfortunate that they had to go through that expense when, as you pointed out, if they had talked to us before, they wouldn't have had to have done that. But still, the good news is we did talk to them, we did educate them, and the students had yet again something different in mind, and they went ahead and collectively, corporately, prayed the Lord's Prayer with, again, cheers from the audience. And I think the more the ACLU pushes one way, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Oftentimes the reaction to that is to push back and say, no, you're not going to define who we are or what we believe. We define who we are and what we believe.
That's right. The fact of the matter is that the ACLU wants to literally eliminate religion, particularly Christianity in particular, from the public square. They're trying to do that down in Santa Rosa County, which we'll give an update later as we go into the month of June regarding what's taking place down in Santa Rosa County, Florida. But this is just another example where they wanted to eliminate Christian prayers from a long-standing tradition in high schools. But they didn't get bullied by the ACLU. The students should not be bullied by the ACLU to give up their constitutional rights. And there's no court precedent that says that religious people and religious speech are banned from graduation. To the contrary, it's very consistent with the right to free speech. If students are there, like Lacey, and they have a right to be able to have a message that is secular in nature, they also have a right to be able to have religious viewpoints. And to censor those religious viewpoints, including prayer, is intolerant as well as unconstitutional, prohibited by the First Amendment.
Well, last week, Liberty Counsel kicked off our Friend or Foe graduation prayer campaign, the 9th annual. I encourage people to go to our website at lc.org. We have an icon there under the Action Center. It says, I will pray. If you click on that, I will pray, we have a memo for graduation prayer with students' rights, teachers' rights, that shows, based on case precedent on United States Constitution, what people's rights as they pertain to prayer and graduation prayer and the prayer in schools. That it's filled with wonderful, terrific information that can save a lot of headache and can equip people to tell the ACLU, no, I'm sorry, you're mistaken. We're not going to be intimidated and bullied.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Don't wait until there's a problem.
That's right.
Don't wait, like in this particular case, until someone like the ACLU contacts them and we have to react. We had a good response here. But take the proactive approach and give them the memos right now.
And look what happens when one person tips off Liberty Counsel. In this case, it was our own Sean Akers because it was his high school. But if one person listening right now, if they're getting this kind of pushback from the ACLU or some other secularist organization or individuals who have hostility toward prayer in school, all they need to do is contact Liberty Counsel, 1-800-671-1776, or go to our website at lc.org.
And if you know of any other graduation prayer or graduations coming up, make sure that you get that information to them. Go to lc.org and print off the information. We also have brochures and pamphlets called Students' Rights on Public School Campuses. It has information there with regards to students' rights, including graduation prayer. But go to lc.org right now to find out more information. As Matt Barber said, click on the icon, I Will Pray, and get that information out right away. We also have I Will Pray wristbands that you can wear as well, not just on graduation day, but all the time, so that you can always be remindful and reminding others to be in a constant attitude of prayer. Go to lc.org. You can also sign up for the Liberator and the Liberty Alert right there at Liberty Counsel's website. And I would also encourage you to get our new constitutions, the Patriots Handbook, right there at lc.org.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.